This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit. Today's subject is going to be up a tree. And I'm picking this for a couple of reasons, because I wanted to paint another creature, and I got a picture of an opossum caught up in a tree. And the other reason is I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about today, so I feel like I'm kind of caught up in a tree, because I'm committed to doing these daily, and so we're going to just sort of see what happens today. And just play around with the paint, and maybe I'll find something to talk about. So the picture I have is of a possum out in our woods. I was up in a tree. I was out in the middle of winter, so the trees are kind of sparse, no leaves. And this possum was just up there, so it gave me an opportunity to get some cool photos. I remember for myself growing up, as a young kid in our neighborhood, I used to love to climb trees. And there was this tree in my friend's yard. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was maybe a sycamore. It had those kind of leaves on it, you know, like the poplar type leaves, but I don't think it was a poplar. It was something that had branches kind of close together that you could easily climb. And even when my friend was maybe not home, I'd still go over and climb this tree just to be up there, to be held by the tree. It's a cool feeling. See the whole neighborhood from up there, sun sparkling through the trees. And it's kind of the way this picture feels to me, this possum. See if we can do another 15-minute critter painting. So I'm just sort of getting stuff on the canvas. And again, it's just about getting something on there. I know there's lots of trees going on in the background, and so I'm just gonna kind of play around and get some stuff happening on the canvas. And maybe I'll respond to all that later once I get something going with the opossum. Now, the interesting thing about an opossum is one of their defenses is to play dead. If it feels threatened. Well, I'm not necessarily playing dead today, but I have been feeling a bit challenge lately. So part of that defense is to put up an appearance different than what actually is. Sometimes that can help actually for myself, instead of getting all caught up in whatever my challenge is. Not denying that the challenge is there, but maybe just to shift the focus a bit. You know, being up in a tree for me as a child had nothing to do with the saying up in a tree, surrounded, nowhere to go. It was actually a feeling of freedom. So sometimes a subject can have multiple meanings, and you can choose which one you want. I like to play with colors. Not actually have to concern myself too much with getting it right when I'm there's a little nose. Getting it right when I'm trying to create something that I'm looking at. Just look at it like my abstractions. Have fun, play with color, and eventually something kind of starts to come together. That's what I've found. So really I'm just paying attention to again, my paint is quite wet. I should have started out with some of my thicker medium here. That would have made it a little easier. But now that I got it all on there, maybe I'll just sort of move the paint around and see what happens. Possums aren't necessarily the prettiest creatures to look at. So having matted fur like that can give a sense of realism to this painting. Let's see, capture a little light on that nose there. Let's play around with these pink feet, gripping the branch. Orange can be a nice way to, instead of going with white for my highlight and my red, grabbing orange can give an intensity to that glow that I see on the foot there. And I'm just trying to get that orange to sit on top of my wet paint there, so sometimes just lifting that dark color underneath enough, redipping my brush, See how that dark color underneath is kind of coming out? And then it allows that orange to, his foot is way bigger. Obviously it's huge right now, but I can adapt that. I can change that. So it's just a matter of scumbling around with the paint till it gets to the place where it feels right. Darks and shadows going on in there. Maybe I think my trusty spatula is gone, so I'll get a firm brush in here. Can kind of act as my spatula. Okay, so an eyeball is always important, right? An eye. Now it kind of is getting that critter feeling going. Just get some shadows going there. When I'm playing around with colors in a painting like this, like I said, it really comes from that sensibility that I get from playing around with abstractions and colors. You can get a sense of volume happening with colors real quickly. And if I wanted to play with this painting a little longer, all those colors start to mix together and removing the colors and fumbling around with them. They'll get muddy, but because they were so intense to begin with, they kind of keep their volume. So I like to play with lots of colors. And you saw there, I just wanted to add a highlight, so instead of just going with white, I put some yellow under there and then threw my white on top of it. Maybe get an intense blue into there. Maybe use that intense blue to create some deeper shadows. My black is just completely hard, so don't have any black right now. But my dark platinum violet works there. So, not quite sure how successful this painting was today, but again, this is just all about playing, seeing what happens. And go ahead and give yourself a challenge like this. See what you come up with. It's fun, even if it doesn't turn out the way you might hope. each time you do something like this, it challenges yourself. You grow a little bit. So get out your brushes, go ahead and do some playing around, challenge yourself, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.